Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today I have something a little bit different. So I got the idea based off of some videos that I've seen recently to do a very simple terrarium for orchids. Now I have this container here. You guys may recognize this from a previous build that I did. I'm sorry I couldn't get the part 2 done. The terrarium unfortunately dried out way too fast before I could even do that. I will do something similar to that, possibly in the future, where I can actually dial in the settings and do all the stuff properly. But this glass is going to be used for something else now. So I had the idea to use a piece of driftwood like this and kind of hover it in the center and display a single orchid on that, maybe with some moss on there. I thought that would look really cool. So what I did was I went out and I bought a mist maker. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to silicone this to the back of the glass, and it's going to provide a mist for this to kind of mimic a cloud forest in the rainforests of like the Andes or Central Asia even, or stuff like that, way high up in the tropical branches of the tallest trees that they have there. Because some orchids do grow like that. And then I'm going to place this orchid in there. Now, I don't know what species this is. If somebody can help me in the comments below, I will be posting a picture of it when it flowers. I don't have a picture currently, so we'll see if it works. So I'm going to be using GE Silicone 1. It is 100% silicone, 100% waterproof, and mold-free up to 7 years. On the back, it does say not recommended for fish tanks. However, this is the #1 silicone used by people who have fish tanks and by people who do this hobby for a living. This is actually the top brand that they use. Serpa Design uses this predominantly in all of his builds, and that's actually where I got this idea to use this silicone from. So right now I've got my silicone set up in this caulking gun, and I'm going to put a small bead of silicone on here and kind of like spread it around, and then I'm going to stick it to the bottom of this container. Okay, so I had a bit of a mishap with the other terrarium. Long story short, it fell on the floor and it broke. My grandmother was able to save the wood piece inside here, but the other terrarium is gone. So she had another flower vase that I could use, and this is it. So it actually works to be a little bit better than the original one because it more closely fits the wood piece. So the other thing I tried to do was silicone the wood piece to the sides there. I'm going to clean these up in a second so it doesn't look so bad. Okay, so this is where I am in the process right now. I got it cleaned up as much as I could. So now we are on to the easy part. I am going to take the orchid off of its mount, and I'm going to wrap it in a little bit of sphagnum moss. But first I need to go and get some twine or some string or something to hold it in place. Okay, so I do have something. It's not twine, it's this little wire. So I'm gonna see if this actually works. I also went and I cleaned off it as best as I could right now. I'm not gonna do anything crazy with it, other than just rinsing it, because I'm gonna clean it off professionally better later. So right now is time to move everything away except for the tongs and this wire. This is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so it is actually the next day, and I made some corrections. First off, the orchid is different. This one is, let me think for a second. What is this one? Hold on. Managed to somehow remember the name. It's called Lepanthes, and I don't know what variant it is. That's all it had on the name tag when I put it in here. But yeah, anyway. So what I'm gonna do right now, it is currently finished with the dried out moss that's there, the sphagnum moss. I'm going to put this live carpet moss that I have around the wood piece on the sides that are not, and over this to trap in more humidity for the plant. So it's gonna be cool, hopefully, when it's done. So let's get into planting right now. So right here I have this carpet moss. And what's cool about this moss is that it kind of looks like little ferns. So this is carpet moss. And this is what it looks like up close. So if you see right there, looks like little tiny ferns. Really cool addition to a terrarium, and one of the things that you can tell if a terrarium is looking healthy is if it starts to grow moss. So I'm just gonna wedge this in little cracks in between the plants, and I'm gonna try and cover the sphagnum moss as much as possible. So let's see how well this turns out. think that's going to be it for now. That looks pretty good. It beautifully showcases this gorgeous Lepanthus orchid. And this is going to be a very simple design. I'm not going to have anything in here other than just this single orchid and the moss that's around it. So I think it looks pretty good. Now, it will grow in eventually, but let's get this thing up and running and I'll show you the final product.